What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. So Donald Trump has seized a Venezuelan oil tanker. Yeah, because that really do got something to do with the war on drugs in America, right? Seizing Venezuela's oil tanker. This is the most dangerously comical moment in modern day history. It's the most dangerously comical moment in modern day history. We have a criminal in the White House, neo-Nazi administration, and he's doing obviously criminal shit. And it's all baked in white supremacy. You see, white supremacy in America says Latin American countries don't mean shit. White supremacy in America does not value one head of state of any Latin country. The Central in South America is a grocery store to America. Central and South America are the abused victims of American imperialism that no one on the globe does anything to hold America accountable for. While Africans are liberating themselves, right? While the global South is liberating themselves on the other side of the world, the global South over here in the Western Hemisphere still has to suffer under the thumb of direct proximity to the most toxic form of white supremacy. I think Donald Trump is trying to start a war so they can remain the president of the United States. He needs a war. You see, black folks wouldn't give him the war, wouldn't give him the black bodies on the streets to scare his constituents, right? Wouldn't do it. So I think he's moved over to the Latino community. Maybe he can get a bunch of Venezuelans to come out and protest or something like that, right? Maybe he can get a lone wolf Venezuelan to go out and do something. Just do one thing. That's all you need. Clearly, you see an Afghan CIA trained operative, right? CIA trained, military trained operative went and did something, right? And they blamed it on the Somalis. They ain't had shit to do with the Somalis. All Donald Trump need is a reason. And his reasoning doesn't gotta make no sense. An Afghanistani turncoat to his community who got PTSD and went off and shot up the spot, just like a lot of regular veterans go and do exactly the same thing. Because keep in mind, this year we done had how many Marines walk into establishments, shoot up the place, and disappear in the mountains. We ain't heard no stories about them. We don't even know if they caught those guys yet. How many veterans went on killing sprees this year and last year? You think that because he's an Afghanistani, he doesn't suffer from the same PTSD? He was in the same war, firing the same bullets at the same people, going through the same stresses, right? Who's to say that he didn't have the same issues as those U.S. Marine Corps veterans that went out inside and murdered a whole bunch of people, right? I'm just saying, right? This is what America produces. But I honestly believe Donald Trump is trying to start he needs a war because he knows self-preservation means I need to burn the world down. See, white folks, one thing we know about them, they will scorch earth before they leave. White people, as they fall, as white supremacy falls, they will destroy the planet. See, that's the thing about them. They're not good losers. They're very sore losers. When they start to lose, they say, you know what? I'm gonna make everybody lose. That's why they're trying to get West Africa to start a regional war. They figure if Europe's in war, they want Africa to be at war. If Europe's going down, they want to at least slow down the progress of Africa, and at least they can go to war. If Europe going down, if America going down, the population going down, fuck civil rights, fuck the Geneva Convention, fuck common sense, fuck humanity. We're gonna rape, murder, and kill, and blow up, destroy, and if we going down, everybody going down. That's what white supremacy is saying right now. And Donald Trump, being a criminal who he is, knowing the gravity of his own situation, he knows he needs a war. He needs one Venezuela. Matter of fact, he don't even need a Venezuela. Just speak Spanish. Do something. He's going to declare martial law, so he don't have to go anywhere. The dude is almost in his 80s. What does he have to lose but to go balls to the wall? He ain't got shit to lose. What you gonna do? Put him in jail for what? The next 5 years? He'll keep you in goddamn litigation until he passes away and dies. You be freaking charging a corpse. You be putting a corpse in jail. He knows this. These old white men know this shit. And we're just watching it. It's just fucking happening. How do we hold any other leader accountable if we don't hold these people accountable? At the end of this, heads gotta roll. At the end of this, listen, in Maryland, where I live at, there's a large Venezuelan population. I grew up with Venezuelans. Those are the group of Latinos, not Mexicans over here. And we got Mexicans, but mainly Venezuela. I grew up with them. Those my cousins from another mother. And they come over here, they work hard, right? They don't bother nobody. They don't do shit. Yeah, you got some kids that act retarded, just like all kids act retarded. But that's just high school shit. We're talking about in real life as a community. They come out here, they work their ass off. They don't bother nobody. They're very friendly. And now they're being demonized, right? Because a white man want to go take their shit from their country. A country that's ravaged because of America's foreign policy. Because America continues to interfere with other people's countries and their business because white America believes is their business. You see, white Americans in America can't stay out of black people business. White Americans can't stay out of other white Americans' business. White Americans can't stay out of Latinos' business. White Americans can't stay out of Arabs. White people cannot stay out of anybody's business outside of their own individual selves. That is their problem. Because they believe everything belongs to them. That is the height of the mental illness and ignorance that permeates these people is just astronomically, it's not real. This is Neanderthalic behavior. You're stealing. How do you justify an oil tanker? What does that oil tanker have to do with drugs coming out of Venezuela? You still got people, I bet you got all them old white folks watching Fox News thinking that little dinghy boat is going to go from Venezuela to America. They probably don't even know where Venezuela is. Pandering to a bunch of old crusty white folks that's on their way out too. Trump is pandering to people his age. They're all on their way. I can't wait for all y'all need to go. Y'all whole generation need to be thrown in the trash. I'm telling you. Trump's whole generation, that whole generation need to be thrown in the trash. Because it ain't worth 2 dead flies. I swear to God. Anyway, check this information out. Y'all guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
The U.S. has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Confirmation coming from President Trump just moments ago.
And this also comes as the president has ordered a huge military buildup in the region and has launched strikes for months now on alleged drug boats. We're joined now by the former Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall, and we're learning details obviously still at this point, but your initial reaction to learning of this seized oil tanker, what this means?
It seems to me to be an escalation of the level of pressure we're putting on Venezuela and on President Maduro. Quite frankly, I don't know where this is leading or what the overall intent is here. But this is a substantially bigger step to take than the ones we've taken before this.
To the point of trying to discern what the intent is, experts have pointed to energy as the linchpin of this nexus of countries that are adversaries of the United States in the Western Hemisphere. Cuba, Nicaragua, obviously Venezuela. I wonder whether you think it also lends credence to the idea that the administration is specifically going after Maduro in part for his energy.
I think it's pretty clear that the intent here is ultimately to take him out of power, one way or the other. I don't know how far we're prepared to go in that direction. The force that we have in the Caribbean is not large enough to support an invasion, but it could support strikes. It's got a lot of air power, naval power, a relatively small marine force. Some special operations capability. So we could be doing airstrikes, which have been implied for some time. We could be doing something in support of a coup. That's possible. We could be doing raids. We could be targeting drug facilities and so on. I don't know. It's not at all clear what the actual intent is here. It may be some hope that Maduro will just realize that the game is up and leave the country. I think that may be wishful thinking, but that's a possibility.
Looking at previous U.S. involvement in the region or in situations like this, there are cautionary tales. What's on your mind as you're thinking about this?
There's a very long history of U.S. intervention in South America, which is not a very pretty story. I've seen some of that throughout my career, Panama at one time, Grenada. Again, I don't think the force we have in this case is large enough to do an attack and seize control. Venezuela is a big country with a pretty good-sized military. But that said, I don't know where President Trump is going with this. He declared a no-fly zone, essentially, or closed airspace, which we have no power to enforce. So what he intends with that, again, there's a lot of mystery about this, and I think it would be very helpful if the President were a little clearer about what he's actually trying to do here.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are hoping that the administration would be more clear on exactly what happened with that second strike on these apparent survivors of an initial strike, suspected drug traffickers. Initially, the president and Secretary Hegseth made statements saying that they were open to footage of that second strike being released to the public. They have since hedged on that. You've obviously been on the other side of oversight as Air Force Secretary. What reasons would you see for this video not being released to the public?
I cannot conceive of any reason not to release the video, other than that they don't like what's on it and don't want people to see it. We've had various stories about this ever since it came out. You know, it's been shown to some people on Capitol Hill, and we've got dramatically different interpretations of what those people saw. So let's all see it. I don't know of anything that could be classified that would prevent it being released, and if there was, that sort of thing could be removed somehow. We really need to see what happened so we can judge for ourselves what happened here. It's also really important, I think, to remember that it's not just these strikes on these two survivors. It's all of these strikes. They're all illegal. There is no war with the drug dealers. The president's unilaterally decided that he wants to have a war with them and start killing people. Congress declares war, not the president. So we really need to put this in context of all the operations that are going on here and try to hold the administration accountable for what it's doing. I can go on and on about this, but the effectiveness of this seems to be very little. The targets that we're attacking are taking cocaine that's bound for Europe to other parts of the Caribbean. They are not taking fentanyl into the United States. So the whole rationale for this all falls apart. We've captured some people, but we didn't keep them and interrogate them or treat them as prisoners of war. We sent them back to their home countries. It all falls apart when you start to look at the details behind what we're doing here.
There are two sources with direct knowledge who told CNN that Admiral Mitch Bradley told lawmakers last week he'd consulted with the uniformed lawyer on duty during the operation before he approved that secondary strike that killed survivors. The sources adding the JAG officer assessed it would be legal to move forward with the second strike. To give context to our viewers, though, they need to understand that as Secretary Hegseth came into the Pentagon, he essentially eviscerated the top JAGs, the top legal officers, and he changed the system. The entire sort of operation of that JAG Corps is very much under fire right now. So hearing that, learning that information, how do you see that considering the broader context?
I've written about this. I'm very concerned about this. And every time we do a strike, where there's a chance to look at it carefully and decide what to do, judge advocate officers are providing an opinion on whether it's a legal strike or not. When Secretary Hegseth fired the three top lawyers for the military departments on basically his first act, I was very concerned. And what he has said, he said this in the Oval Office, is that he wants maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Those are his words. And you're seeing it play out in the killing of these people.
It's a major escalation between the United States and Venezuela, it seems. Donald Trump says US forces have seized an oil tanker off the Venezuelan coast. CNN's Kevin Liptak joining me. What does this mean, Kevin?
Yeah, it's not precisely clear what the president's goals were in seizing this tanker. He didn't expand on that. In the Roosevelt Room where he's speaking just now, he said that it was the largest tanker ever seized and that there could be more action to come. But certainly it is an escalation on this pressure campaign that the Trump administration is mounting on Venezuela. The administration had been reluctant so far to target the country's oil industry, its oil sector. Most of those tankers are shipping oil to China. But clearly the president touting this action as a major step forward as he increases the pressure on Nicolas Maduro. Now, the president has said as recently as this week that he could be launching airstrikes on that country. He hasn't said when that might happen. So far, the administration's strategy had been to go after those drug boats, those alleged drug boats in the Caribbean Sea. That's caused so much consternation in Congress, questioning the legal rationale there, questioning at least that one particular strike, that so-called double tax strike that some have said could amount to war crimes. And so we'll see what more the president has to say about this seizure of the tanker, but certainly a major development as the president's approach to Venezuela gains more scrutiny in Washington, but also seems to be increasing in speed as the hope seems to to be that Maduro will either step down or that the administration provides some off-ramp for him going forward, Max.
In terms of the tension we've got here, this is obviously separate. He was targeting drug boats, right, in the drug industry, if we can call it that. And now he's targeting commercial industry, or would this be classified as targeting the authorities somehow in the country?
Well, certainly those two are intertwined in some ways, and the administration has not expanded on why they have targeted this particular tanker, but you're right, it does expand what the administration is doing in the region. You know, so far, the president's official objective when it comes to Venezuela is to stop the flow of drugs. He has said fentanyl is not actually produced in Venezuela, but other drugs coming to the United States. That has been sort of the official line when you talk to the White House about why they're pursuing these objectives in the Caribbean Sea. But obviously seizing a tanker would go well beyond that. And the president, I think, is highly attuned to Venezuela's oil reserves. They're the largest in the world, and that is something that has been on his mind as he is pursuing this strategy in that country. And we learned just yesterday that the administration was developing some day after plans should Maduro step down. And so you can see how the president and his advisors are sort of aligning on a strategy here that could potentially include the country's energy sector. And so where this proceeds going forward and what the response, I think very critically from Caracas will be, I think is something to watch going forward. Obviously, American energy firms, namely Chevron, have major interests in Venezuela, and they have been sort of straddling the president's strategy here, trying to encourage some sort of resolution that doesn't include all-out war. And so how this proceeds and how those American companies react, I think, another thing to watch.
Fuck this, fuck that, and bitch, fuck you. Fuck this, fuck shit, fuck your daddy too. No, I ain't forget your motherfucker too. Motherfucker, fuck your blood and this fuckery they got us going through. Those fuckers put us under spells. Said fuck y'all to a living hell. Fuck all the laws that nature tells. So we die cursed while they live well. But fuck, I've had it up to here. I curse their curses with no fear. I give no fucks, I'll live to hear the song that justice sings so clear.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.